Okay, I saw some elevated levels today. It's beyond normal today. Particularly, I did see some high numbers on the east and the west coast. And you do have some middle hot spots here. They're starting to beam up. Right here is around Austin. Austin's at 237 CPM, but if you look, they're high. That's something to pay attention to when you look at these readings. Look at their highs and look where they are now. 237, 247. So it's not too far from its high, this particular Geiger counter, however long it's been up. So that's concerning. Look right next to it. Yeah, 170 CPM. That doesn't seem too bad compared to the high that it's had there. Southern tip of Texas on the border, 149. 168 in Laredo. Houston's at 158. Fort Worth, 188. This is the Jade Helm territory here. 139 in Lubbock. 145. Carlsbad, New Mexico. This is very important to pay attention to because it gets overlooked a lot. Carlsbad is not too far from where they had a nuclear storage facility. It was the only WIP, the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant. It was only nuclear storage waste facility for long-term storage. It was only like 10 years old, and it was supposed to hold radiation and not let it go into our biosphere for thousands of years. And I'm sure you already heard the story by now if you've been following Fukushima, that they were using kitty litter. This is their story. Kitty litter, the wrong kitty litter. They blame it on organic kitty litter. Organic kitty litter. They're blaming on their radioactive blast that they were storing the waste, and it actually made a bomb. Now this billion-dollar facility, they can't use it anymore because once you let radioactive dust there, it's just everything becomes radiated. So they've been opening up some new sites around Carlsbad, but a lot of people think that some of the Carlsbad is blowing into Texas, which makes sense. They've actually moved a lot of the radiation from these other nuclear waste sites into West Texas, which is actually St. Andrews, Texas. You're going to find it like right around here. So technically you could get some downwind over here. And then you have Fukushima on top of that, and then the nuclear other waste facilities that are around. I'm going to pop up those radiation sites so you can look at the map and compare those sites with the readings. You see these? See right here was Carlsbad. That was the WIP Isolation Pilot Plant. And now they're moving those new waste facilities over here, which sucks if you're in Texas, you know. You had one judge just made the decision, hey, it's great for our economy, jobs, you know, that's their excuse. So they let these waste come into their city. And the rest of Texas, they didn't get the vote on that. Alright, let's take a look at some other readings. Now, it's pretty interesting. When you look at some of these elevated levels, look where a nuke plant is near it. Here, Jacksonville, 147 CPM. This is the St. Lucie nuclear reactor. They poured lots of cracks in their piping. They said there was like hundreds of these microscopic cracks all over the pipes. 16. Not very high. Then again, they've only had a high of 34, so a raspberry PI. I would like to find out what kind of Geiger counter that is. That's another thing, because some of these Geiger counters are set to different standards. Like I said, I'm always about double checking, triple checking. That's where I am, 429. That's should be considered evacuation when you look over here. See, Radcon 1's green, Radcon 2 is rising, Radcon 3 is elevated, Radcon 4 is alert. Radcon 5 is an A. There's no Radcon 5s up, but Radcon 4 is bad enough. .163 in North Carolina and Wilmington. 443 in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's pretty high. It's right next to a new plant. 165 in Dover. .179 in Richmond. .337 in Boston. .374 in Worcester, Massachusetts. I did see a high one in Maine. Okay, that's low. 187 in Bangor. See that? 352 in Portland. That's pretty high. Their high was 591. .271 in Concord. That's where a lot of grapes get smashed for Welch's. .168 in Buffalo. .215 in Cleveland. .101 in Toledo. .152 in Michigan. .68 in Grand Rapids. .267 in South Dakota. .242 in North Dakota. .78 in Rapid City. It's really hard to track how radiation moves. It's never a straight line. You're going to have, it could be going around mountains and ending up somewhere, water streams and valleys. Holy shit. 753 in Billings, Montana. That's too freaking high. I'm sorry. These people need to stay inside if you're in Billings, Montana or anywhere around there. See, that's really strange, ain't it? We go from 14, but you see this has never been above 36. He needs somebody, please. You got a Geiger counter? Take a little trip for us. Go to Billings. Let's see what's going on over there. This is right here is Hanford. There was 10 nuclear reactors there. That's where the first bombs were built that were dropped on Japan. They'll never be able to clean it up. They polluted the Columbia River. They dumped barrels, open pits. And yeah, they're corroding right now as we speak. They're going into Columbia River, which is going to make its way down to Portland. And that river feeds a lot of food people over here. So look at that, 506 in Spokane, Washington. It's usually not that high. I just checked it the other day. It was 200 points lower. So just be careful out there, right? '79 in Seattle. If you've been watching E&E News, I suggest you check up on them. I got E&E News saved in my favorites. I sign up for their email, I subscribe, so I get alert texts whenever stuff is going on. And they just were talking about how on California that they've never seen so much radioactive water than they have measured. I don't know how many becquerels it was per meter, but it was higher than they've ever read. Definitely don't want to be eating fish, guys. Tell your friends. Might save their life. Let's not eat that fish, alright? Not eat those seaweed products. Avoid carrageenan. You're going to find carrageenan even in your yogurts and different type of milks, even in almond milk. That's something to pay attention to. Carrageenan is a red seaweed, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's come from the Pacific. It's just not going to be clean. You're even going to find carrageenan in Pediasure, so it's disgusting. What can I say? 329 San Diego. It's been pretty high there for a while now. 263 in Phoenix. .230 in Denver, is just south of that nuclear plant. .475 Colorado Springs. Hey, if I miss your city, my bad. You know, just tell me, hey, what's going on in the city? I'm gonna pay more attention to it. All right, just you can leave that in the comments. 347 in South Valley, New Mexico. El Paso. .336 in Bakersfield. Just can't get over that 753 in Billings. Birmingham, Alabama, 167. We need some monitoring sites in Louisiana. There's a few reasons why it'd be great to have one there. Number one, it's downwind from Texas, so Texas has been having some issues. Plus, you have these 4 nuclear reactors down in Louisiana. Plus, the Ohio River and the Mississippi is all leaks into here, and this is pretty much what goes into the Gulf of Mexico. And I was just looking at the stress levels of the ocean in the Gulf is pretty high. Lots of bleaching of coral and stuff. Lots of dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico. And on top of that, of course, we had the Event Horizon. We had the blast with BP and their oil going off, which is terrible. Oil is terrible leak, but how they hid the oil was even worse. They were using Corexit, which is really bad. It's in some studies they found Corexit to be 52 times more toxic than oil. There's also been flesh-eating bacteria that they used, and they've been finding that some of the flesh-eating bacteria is actually they're finding it in fresh water now, and people are they're getting flesh-eating bacteria that literally eat their face off. So be careful out there swimming in fresh water. They told people don't go in the ocean if you have cuts. I don't think I'm going to be going in the ocean at all. Thank you very much. Augusta 245, 262 in Atlanta, Hotlanta 262, Panhandle 229 in Tallahassee. So it's not looking good. Now NOAA is sending some ships up to here. If you've been paying attention to my last broadcast about the whales, I think this is around here's the Kodiak, and they're doing a huge expedition right here, NOAA. They're looking for a rare whale. It's called the right whale. They haven't seen it since like 2008, which was right before Fukushima. And they just found a bunch of strandings, bunch of dead whales around here. So I don't think they're going to find this whale. I think it's going to be extinct. It was already extremely endangered. So any hope of trying to rescue this whale, get it? I mean, at this point, I'm like, hey, let's save all the life we can. We need a Noah's Ark and take these animals that are left in the ocean. Let's get them. Let's save them somehow. I mean, I know it's terrible to have SeaWorlds and stuff, but out here is just death. They have no chance out here. It's our duty. If we're going to destroy the ocean, we need to protect all life. Every life is precious. Let's go have a look at Fukushima. Okay, it's Fukushima, Daiichi. There are a lot of people dying over here. Now, something I just thought about. We have 80,000 nanosieverts per hour, right? Now, since Fukushima happened, they're saying 78,000. And it's at 80,000 now. We're almost 5 years since Fukushima, and there hasn't been any low. So what does that tell you? That tells you for our lifetimes, the radiation here is not going to go down. That's for sure. Most likely our children's children, if they even make it. Also, the problem here is the storage. Just to keep this reactor at 80,000 nanosieverts per hour, they have to constantly dump seawater on it, which is corroding it even further. So these cores, these core amps, they're on the ground in the ocean, just exposed. Where's it go? Over here. You'll see some dark spots in the water too. Look at that. There's a run right in here. Just, you see the water just doesn't look right either. Look at that. What the fuck is this? Get some readings. Now they just got permission again from the fisherman. Yeah, they just gave some money to the fisherman. What about the rest of us? To dump more water into the ocean now because they say they don't have space. The fuck is all this space? What is this? Plenty of fucking space. I can keep going and going. They can make fucking room. This place is all abandoned anyway. 35 miles out, each direction. They can facilities far away from the ocean. At least do that. Don't leave these here. We just had a 159 mile an hour typhoon go over Japan. What if it went here? They're built to last anywhere from 3 to 8 years max. They weren't meant for long. Another thing I just noticed, this is seriously concerning. If you look at the around Fukushima, you see this like halo, right? And it's all around Fukushima. You see it? So it just doesn't look right. It just looks like these are radioactive particles right here, just kind of mixing in. They just did that dump. To me, that looks like a dump. You just see how it's, hey, let's let it open. Here's the door. You see it? You see the pollution going into the water right now. That's where it's coming from. Hello, world. They're basically saying, fuck you, take it. Not too much fresh water, clean water left. The thing I noticed today about the Radiation Network site, those sites around San Antonio, Houston, Austin, all those sites that had trending up on the NETC, there's none here right now. '69 Colorado. And there's none of these stations set up by Billings, Montana, where we had high readings. We had high readings in Idaho. Nothing out here to measure. Nothing really out here to measure, and there should be, especially here, Spokane. And there's just a huge gap right here. Look how empty that is. That is just too big of a gap. In Canada too. If you look up at Canada, there's not that many stations up there. Plus, look, there should be some monitoring stations around here. Just too many reactors. Nothing in New Mexico, nothing in Carlsbad, nothing in the new nuke reactor waste facility sites that are right here in St. Andrews, Texas. Alright, that's enough for today. I do see some trends up by New York. 53 in Minnesota. 50 in Illinois. 35 in Orlando. Texas. Where are you, Texas?